Jake Paul just found himself in serious trouble after Mike Tyson reportedly lashed out following the cancellation of their highly anticipated fight. What was once an epic showdown in the making has now spiraled into chaos. Jake's public pleas and excuses seem to have finally struck a nerve with the legendary heavyweight. It appears the delay has awakened the beast. Tyson isn't just upset, he's furious. And when the baddest man on the planet is coming for you, it's not just a headline. It's a warning. A punch from Iron Mike isn't something anyone would want to check off their bucket list, especially not Jake Paul. So how did it all come to this? Let's unravel the chain of events that led to this explosive confrontation between two of the most polarizing figures in boxing today. Buckle up. This story is full of twists, turns, and absolute mayhem.
Yeah, the news is true, folks. Jake Paul, will be fighting Mike Perry, Tampa, Florida, July 20th. Let's cut to the chase.
No wonder Mike Tyson lost it, but that wasn't even the peak. What Jake Paul said next was enough to push the boxing legend over the edge. And when Mike lets his fists do the talking, you know someone's in trouble. Unfortunately for Jake, he took the full brunt of it. The Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight has been the hottest topic in the boxing world since it was first announced back in March. Let's be honest, nobody had this matchup on their 2024 bingo card. Still, once it was confirmed, the hype was undeniable. Surprisingly, the two were mostly on good terms at first. Sure, they exchanged jabs, verbal ones, at least, but that's standard fare in the fight game, especially with someone like Jake Paul, who thrives on controversy and chaos. But this time, Jake took things too far. Mike Tyson isn't your typical opponent. He doesn't just clap back on social media, his responses come in the form of thunderous punches. And when Jake pushed one button to many, especially by reportedly dragging Tyson's family into the feud, that was the final straw. He poked the bear and the bear mauled back. Let's be real, Jake Paul has been chasing Tyson for years, and calling him out for a fight was one thing. But crossing the line on a personal level, that's a dangerous game. If anyone should have seen this coming, it was Jake. Since his pro boxing debut, Jake has been making waves in and out of the ring. Love him or hate him, he knows how to draw a crowd, but clout doesn't equal greatness. Despite his knockout wins over the likes of Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, and Tyron Woodley, critics point out that most of his opponents were retired athletes long past their prime. The only real test he's had was against Tommy Fury, and that resulted in the first loss of his career. Now, Jake was gearing up for what many called the biggest fight of his life, a showdown with Iron Mike, a fight that had the entire boxing world watching. This wasn't just a spectacle, this was a test of whether Jake Paul could hang with a true warrior of the ring. Boxing pros have been warning him from the beginning, you don't play games when Mike Tyson's involved, you bring respect, you bring your game, or you risk getting crushed. And right now, it looks like Jake learned that lesson the hard way.
Oh, he wants to fight Mike, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't give a if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson.
Mike's in good shape, too.
Oh, my God.
Mike trains every day.
He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs Kings.
The problem child versus Iron Mike, a disaster in the making. Jake Paul stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson always sounded like a recipe for disaster, and now it's becoming painfully clear that Jake has no idea what he's gotten himself into. Fortunately for him, this fight might not happen anytime soon. Originally scheduled for July 20th, 2024, the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight was postponed after Tyson suffered a health scare mid-flight. During a trip from Miami to Los Angeles, Iron Mike experienced an ulcer flare-up that left him nauseous and dizzy just 30 minutes before landing. He had to call for medical assistance on the plane. Though Mike later assured fans that he was fine and the fight was still on, things quickly took a turn. Days later, Tyson released an official statement. I want to thank my fans around the world for their support and understanding during this time. Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, I've been advised to ease up on training for a few weeks to rest and recover. My body's in the best shape it's been since the 1990s, and I'll be back to my full training schedule soon. Jake Paul. This may have bought you some time, but in the end, you'll still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. To most boxing fans, this wasn't a huge shock. After all, Tyson is pushing 60, but what did raise eyebrows was Jake Paul's response. Instead of waiting for a rescheduled date, Jake wasted no time moving on. He publicly threw shade at old rivals like KSI, but KSI had his own plans and wasn't about to take a fight on short notice. So Jake turned to Mike Perry, and that's where things got even more chaotic. Perry, a former UFC fighter turned bare-knuckle brawler, has long wanted a shot at Jake. Ever since the two sparred, Perry's been calling him out. Now he's finally getting his dream fight, and he's not taking it lightly. He's been training hard, and he's out to destroy Paul's biggest payday by knocking him out cold before Tyson even gets the chance. If you're not familiar with Mike Perry, here's what you need to know. He had a solid UFC run, but never quite fit in. So he jumped to bare-knuckle fighting championship BKFC, and he's flourished. Undefeated and demolishing top names in the sport, Perry's become BKFC's biggest star. Sure, his one pro boxing match ended in a loss, but don't let that fool you. He's dangerous, he hits hard, and he's in his prime. In Perry's own words, I'm trying to ruin that whole thing for him. See if they offer it to me after I knock Jake out, be like, hey, want to fight Mike Tyson on Netflix? That's the real win here. Well, Perry might not have to do much. With Tyson's health still in question and tensions running high, the entire fight could fall apart on its own. Let's face it, Mike Tyson's condition is uncertain, and it'll likely stay that way right up until fight night. Holding your breath for this bout, probably not worth it. Jake Paul may love controversy, but this time he might not bounce back so easily. Tyson going off on him may have seemed extreme, but when you've bitten someone's ear off in the ring before, nothing's off the table. Especially when Jake crossed the ultimate line, bringing Tyson's family into it. That's where the sympathy runs dry. Fans are backing Tyson, and Jake's now facing massive backlash. This whole mess could be a wake-up call. If Jake truly wants to be taken seriously as a boxer, it's time he stops ducking real competition and starts building a proper resume. Fighting Mike Tyson won't earn him a title shot or respect from the boxing world, it's just spectacle. Fighting younger, active boxers, that's how you prove yourself. And let's be honest, if Jake struggles against Mike Perry, a fighter in his physical prime and built for punishment, how is he supposed to survive even one round with a heavyweight legend like Tyson? Even at 58, Mike Tyson still packs a punch that could put anyone to sleep. If this fight does happen, it might just be Jake Paul stepping into his own funeral. Tyson's legacy speaks for itself. But before any of that happens, Jake has to deal with Mike Perry. And if he can't win that one, then there might not be a Tyson fight to save or survive. So that's where things stand. Jake Paul is caught between two Mikes, one who's furious and legendary, and one who's hungry and dangerous. Either way, this could be the moment that makes or breaks the problem child. What do you think? Is Jake Paul in over his head? Will the Tyson fight ever happen? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest boxing drama. We'll see you in the next video.